Hello friends, this is Prashant here. I hope you all are doing well. And today I'm going to talk about how blockchain is going to form backbone for the futuristic technologies like AI and IoT. So a lot of you have doubts, and a lot of students been asking me, and a lot of enthusiasts have been asking me that how blockchain is kind of going to form a backbone for AI and IoT. So well, let me give you an example of a self-driving car, right? We all know that self-driving car is going to take over the world like anything, and not only automobile companies around the world, but a lot of tech giants such as Google, Apple have already started to work on self-driving cars. So let's take a scenario, right? Here's a crossing, right? There's a huge crossing, a very busy day, full of chaos. And you have, cars of four different brands, maybe coming along. So maybe one could be, Mercedes, one could be Tesla, one could be Apple, and one could be, Google self-driving car. So the thing is, when these cars have to, go or pass by, right? They cannot actually, the sensors cannot actually go and penetrate through the walls or through long distances, maybe a kilometer radius range or maybe a 2 kilometer radius range, and identify where the car is coming from. It becomes very difficult to kind of coordinate among all of them. So let's say, for example, right, you must be thinking that, okay, they could run on some system or a centralized system like, maybe Google's, Google Maps or Google Locations or, Apple Maps and, things like that. And in that way, everybody will be able to kind of, share the coordinates and kind of, map along with that. But the thing is, friends, why would Google or why would any other company would, give access to their servers to support them? Because it's going to consume a very huge amount of bandwidth, and two, there's going to be a lot of security issues as well. So let's just kind of take an example. So let's say, for example, maybe a car by some X company gets hacked, right, which is sharing the same location or the same platform which is operated by Google or Apple. And if they get hacked, the consequences are a lot of time the hackers might use that as a backdoor entry as well. So which is going to affect the entire system altogether. I've been talking about central point of failures with a centralized system or a centralized infrastructures, right? And could be the same scenario as well, right? So if one thing fails, right, the entire system goes down. And let's say, what if maybe the platform used by all these cars to share the coordinates is down one day, right? It's going to affect the entire ecosystem and the entire traffic, right? So the solution to all these problems is basically the blockchain, right? The blockchain's decentralized architecture would connect everyone onto a same platform or onto a same ecosystem in a decentralized way. And since all the participants are sharing the same copy of a data or the same copy of a truth, it actually becomes easier for them to kind of map and share the data in real time. So they are able to communicate the data in a more secure environment. And blockchains kind of hashing mechanism make sure that the data is kind of shared within the consensus. So all the participants can trust each other because there's a consensus, there's a set of rules where these guys or these participants can depend upon, and they can be assured that everything going to be operate in a smart way using smart contracts. So all the data, all the coordinates and everything will be shared within the same boundaries or the same rules which is defined as per the smart contract. And not only that, right, they don't have to worry about about their data being lost to someone or the data being hacked, because as the blockchain architecture is as the terminology suggests, like blockchain, with more and more data being added to the network and every block kind of carrying the reference of the previous block, something like which we typically call a Merkle tree kind of an architecture. This is going to make sure that every block is connected to one another, and every block has kind of the hash or the reference with reference to the previous block. So if someone kind of have to hack it, they have to actually go and attack the network before a new block is created. And since we are taking a use case of an AI or a self-driving car, which would require a tremendous amount of data infrastructure involved in it, a new data block or a new data set or a new data would be added to the network maybe every millisecond. So which means a hacker would have a limited time to attack the network, maybe with a brute force, or maybe with the entire computing power of the world to kind of to take the entire network down. And since we are talking about a massive data infrastructure, to support self-driving car, you would actually probably require the entire computation power from around the world to kind of take on to the network, right? So which practically makes it impossible to hack the network. And because of which, all the structured data will be stored in a blockchain, and all the participants could determine which data to share. And, AI or ML or all the NLPs could actually work on these data sets within a blockchain and kind of, share the results with everyone distributed across the network in the same uniform way. So blockchain is not going to assure the security of the network, but it is also going to make sure that all the data is shared in a uniform way. And most importantly, what would matter is that we could also use other algorithms like zero knowledge proof, where without actually sharing the data or being viewed by someone, you could run ML to derive at conclusions or to make your machine smarter. So these are all the unlimited possibilities where the blockchain is going to be used for futuristic technologies like AI and IoT, right? So let me take another simple use case of IoT, right? Let's say your all your IoT devices or all your IoTs may be powered by Google's smart home, or maybe Honeywell's, or maybe some XYZ, right? Now imagine that one of these networks or one of these service providers gets hacked, right? Or are like maybe vulnerable. So what's going to happen, right? It's going to be like a massive chaos where your entire home will be hacked, and you just don't know what to do unless and until someone comes up with the right solution, right? But if this is 100% decentralized, right? And even if just one part of a network gets affected, you can just apply a similar logic of the decentralization and single point of failure and the security concepts to here as well. So even if one network gets failed or one part is down, your entire home is safe. And most importantly, a stealer or a hacker couldn't have access to your data because it is encrypted by default. So thus blockchain is like forming a backbone for all these emerging technologies. It is not only providing security, but it is also providing the privacy and at the same time making machines smarter. All the machines could share the same copy of a smart contract across and take uniform decisions. And all these decisions could be stored on the blockchain, right? And could be distributed or shared with anyone by protecting all the privacies and at the same time protecting your data. Guys, remember, data is the new oil. And answer to all these questions and all these problems is blockchain. Thus, blockchain is creating one of the biggest data infrastructures around the world and is creating the biggest revolution of internet. So thank you so much. And if you have any doubts or any queries, you can comment below, you could reach out to us and we'll be happy to answer it to you, right? And stay tuned for our upcoming blockchain programs and certifications, and learn blockchain, and you could maybe land your dream job. And the potential of the blockchain is unlimited, and we are also looking for geniuses like you to come and work with us and work a lot of research and a lot of cool technology stuff which we want to innovate further. So thank you so much. Keep sharing, keep spreading the love, and think blockchain, think Snapper. Have a good day. Thank you again.